Hello, this is Kathy Crow here at the Crow Cottage. It is so nice to see you, and I hope you're warmer than we are. It's actually supposed to be above freezing out there, but it is just really strange because when Jeff and I got up there, of course they'd canceled school. They started canceling them here last night and said it was going to be freezing rain, and it was. But when we woke up, it really didn't look that bad out there at about 7. And then as the morning has gone on, it's just looked frostier and frostier and not less icy. They said by noon it would be less icy. Wow. Anyway, so enough complaining about the weather. You're probably hearing about it from others, and I'm sure you're not having the great. It's bad everywhere. Today, I'm going to do Notes of Nature. Now, this is a beautiful stamp set, and today, what a great day to be inside making beautiful cards. I showed this to, I think I showed it to everybody a couple of weeks ago. This is what I'm going to do, something similar to this. It'll look a little different, but it'll be similar. And it's a little prayer journal, actually, although the little granddaughters I have in mind aren't really old enough to do a prayer journal yet, per se. But they could even just use it as like a little pretend diary. I see my hair is kind of like going all over. Well, you know, there's just all kinds of things going on in the Stampin' Up! World that you are going to want to know about. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you about those as we go along. Let me try to find myself here on the computer while I'm dilly-dallying with you. It's going to blast. I've got my speaker connected, and actually it wasn't connected. That was kind of nice because do you hate hearing your voice? I don't like to hear my voice because, I don't know. And I see I'm freezing up already. My internet has not been running well. And last week, my phone shut me down and I had to do my video in 2 videos, which means I can't really upload it to YouTube. I could have redone the whole thing and uploaded it when I tried to do it as a movie and upload things to, you know, oh, my phone. YouTube just doesn't like it when you do that stuff. It takes hours and hours and hours, and I just don't have that much time to do that. So here is my website. I've scrawled in what it actually is now because it has changed. So it's still Kathy Crow's Cards, but there's a slash, there's a .wixsite.com and a slash and a Kathy Crow's Cards. Anyway, if you go on Google and search for it, I'm sure you can still find it. It just might make you a little harder to find, but you can find it. And I do appreciate people who are checking in on that. That's just something that I'm doing as mostly just a weekly blog now. I was using it as a way to keep all of my cards with tutorials available to everyone, but it's just that they decided to start charging all of us a lot to store all of that information, and I don't blame them. They're trying to make money too. So anyway, we're all trying to do that. Thank you for making purchases in my Stampin' Up! Store. I've got that here for this QR code. This is my Square store if you want any classes, if you want coloring help, if you want to join our team, this is a good time to do it. And there's my newsletter. If you are not taking that, that's a once-a-week newsletter with free tutorials every week. So anyhow, I am so glad to see you. Glad to have you here with me. And I'm going to try to get my board set just a little better. And we'll see if that worked. Actually, that's not too bad. I think I'll better leave it alone before I get it any worse. I think I'm going to put my, I should have rinsed this before I started. That's feeling kind of dry. Notes of Nature, you are so cute because it has this little grid pattern. The field notes thing is really cool, but what I like best about it actually is this die. Isn't that marvelous? So to do this little journal, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp and emboss and then cut this white piece. This is going to be on basic white. And then today's project I'm going to put on petal pink. This is Calypso Coral, but I'm going to do today's project on Calypso Pink. Calypso pink, petal pink. This is actually, the colors I pulled out for this one, a little bit more greenish. I thought if I'm going to go with a slightly lighter pink, I wanted a little bit paler green. So this is Pear Pizzazz. I am using vellum to cover it. I think you're going to really like how that turns out. And since Stampin' Up! Does not sell vellum, I happen to have a green piece of vellum left over from other supplies that I've bought over the past 35. It's probably been about 35, maybe 30 years. We'll say 30 years. This is God is Good. I don't know where I got that from, but the one I'm going to use today anyway is from Quiet Reflection. And on this one, it has the Psalm 46, one verse, God is our refuge and strength. Now, I thought that would be a really good one to put on a prayer journal. So that's why this stamp set is out. That is what we're going to be using for the sentiment, and we are going to get started. I've got all kinds of things to tell you about in the Stampin' Up! World. Oh, before I start, let me tell you what this is. Do you remember Dots? There was a stamp company quite a while ago called Dots that Stampin' Up! Sort of took over for. Not officially. They didn't buy it or anything. It's just that Dots just couldn't make it, I guess, financially, and so I went to Stampin' Up! Eventually. It took me a while to find them. I'd been a Dots person, and I think this paper might have actually come from Dots. They used to sell, now they called it Designer Series paper. It was actually paper. I don't think they called it Designer Series paper. I don't know what they called it, but this even could be old Stampin' Up! Paper in the days when they sold actual paper. Ours is almost all a kind of cardstock now, really not paper, but this is actually paper, and it's crumb cake. It really does look like crumb cake, so I'll bet this is Stampin' Up! Crumb cake has been a color with us for so long. I bet you that this is not as old as I think it is. But what I did is I took a whole bunch of pages from the collection that I still have, because I bought a bunch, of course, and I cut it already with the die, and I even scored it a little bit. And you'll see when I cut ours with the die that I'm going to do on the main page, you'll see what I'm talking about as far as that goes. But isn't that nice? It's just a very nice cut, and I know a lot of people are not going to want to buy a book binder or anything like that, and you don't have to with this. This is pretty special. So it makes the perfect size. This is actually sized at 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. No, that is not. That's a rectangle, not a square. What is it? 6 1/4. I turned it, so of course, by 4 1/2, okay? So that's what this is cut at. 4 1/2 by 6 1/4. My card is a big one today. The card is actually going to be 6 1/2, I bet. Yep. 6 1/2 by I did it again. By 4, no, it can't be 4 1/2. 4 3/4. So that's what this top card, we're going to do two. We're going to do a back one and a front one with those dimensions. So let me go ahead and grab my petal pink. It's what we're using. And I might even have it cut out already. I'm not sure. I have everything over here. Let me put it over here on the side. This is for our Leafy Vine. This is Time Worn Type. This is an embossing folder that's in the main catalog. And I love that one, so we're going to use that. This is just a standard piece of, I don't even know what size. It's probably the same size. It's 4 1/2 by 6 1/4. So actually, this is the size I want. So let's not mess it up. That's what I'm going to stamp on. And then we need 2 sheets instead of just the one that I've got here that's sized 6 1/2 by 4 3/4. I mean 4 3/4. So I'll have to do that in a minute, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. Let's go ahead and just stamp for now. Oops, is my computer messing up? All right, what did I do? Get my paper over here on the side so I can see what I've done, because I also pulled out, in case I needed it, my Lovely and Sweet stamp. Because it has the just sending a bit of love your way. I like that. It's small, it's vertical, in case I need it. I also noticed that the leaf from the vanilla plant is actually very similar to the leaf in our Notes of Nature. I mean, extremely similar. And so I got it out in case I thought maybe I might want to have a flower here or something. We'll see. Everything, as far as I know, that I actually stamped is all here in Notes of Nature. Now, I gotta tell you, we're not gonna use it today. I've been using it a ton, so I resisted using it today because there's the DSP that goes with the, where's my crumb cake? The DSP that goes with the Notes of Nature is called Nature's Sweetness, and it is fabulous. It's so pretty that I'm going to tell you, I've got it out already. You're going to want to make sure that you get it because it is going to disappear on us, I'm sure. I mean, it seems like all the paper anymore that I really like always it disappears like instantly, and it's a little frustrating actually, but we're living with it anyway. So I'm going to start up here on the corner with this Field Notes one. I'm not going to use it more than the one time. Those are sticking to that. Usually they don't. So we're going to use most of these stamps. So I'm going to just stick it over here on the side. So this is the little field one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my block here where I can see my grid patterns. So I actually want to stamp this straight. And then I can see my line and place it like right on. Get over it here so I can see what I'm doing. I want to get it right on my line so that this is actually pretty straight. Sometimes when I put the image on the back of my stamp, it doesn't perfectly match what the actual stamp is. When you do your stamps, you put the labels on yourself, which is nice because then I can adjust them how I want. But if like a stamp like this is directional and I want it to be nice and straight, and I didn't get it on straight, sometimes that happens. So then I use my grid here to try to position my stamp so that it's actually right on there, right where I want it. Anyway, we're going to see how that worked. So crumb cake, we're going to go ahead and leave some room for my cutout. In fact, before I even cut it out, I'm going to just lay this here so that I can make sure that I don't get it too close because I need a bit of a border and I don't want it to be too close to that. Okay, so we're going to go right there. Okay, well, that was a little darker than I probably would have normally done it, but I didn't happen to have anything to stamp off with it right handy, and I didn't want to stamp on the board. Now, this is the glass mat you can get if you're getting the starter kit, and I would really encourage you to get the starter kit. It is the best value, and when you are having, a need to buy a lot of Stampin' Up! Stuff because you just like it a lot and you like to have color coordination and get everything that you want. Now, I don't need this here anymore because I don't care if my other designs go into that. I just didn't want the field notes to be messed up with those holes. Now, I'm going to put this grid pattern on. We're going to be kind of random about it. But I am going to take a piece of scrap paper, if I can find some. I bet you I've got a piece in here somewhere. There's a large piece in here. I'm going to tear off some. And use this here as my scrap for stamping off. Okay, well, maybe I'll put it here. All right, so we want I want to put a grid pattern here. The grid pattern, I don't care if it's not quite as, let's stamp off again. It does not have to be all matchy-matchy. Okay, we're doing a fairly random one. Maybe one more so that we have it pretty faded. Okay, very good. So that's the stamped off version. You can call that a stamped off if you do it like this and stamp once. This is a second generation. This would be the first generation. That would be a second generation. And then every time after, again, without re-inking, is called another generation. So if you're reading my tutorials and you're thinking, what in the world is stamped off to the third generation? What does that mean? You know, is that like some weird stamp you've passed down in your family line for years or what? No, it's just a matter of how many times you've stamped before inking again. All right, now we're going to go ahead and do the dots because I want to put some of my petal pink in here too. The dots are really cool. I really like little dots. They're fun. They give you some really nice texture, but you definitely want that stamped off at least once. And then we'll just keep going with it. Okay. And this way you can kind of just play with it. You don't have to be an expert with that. That's why I like the dots. They look good no matter what you do. Now we're going to do petal pink. And I think we're done with crumb cake now. I'm going to put that one away. And we've got our petal pink. I'm going to just do a little bit of that. And I'm just doing the second generation on that one. Ink strength. And a lot of this is not even going to show under my stuff, but I just kind of did it random. Okay, petal pink, I think we are done with you. So now I'm going to be using tuxedo black to stamp the other things. And then, you know, I might, let's see, what is my green? What did I decide my green? Oh, it was Pear Pizzazz. I might get Pear Pizzazz for one of the little branches. I don't know. I'm going to think about it here. Let's see if I can find it. Pear Pizzazz. My vellum on top of the Pear Pizzazz is very bluish. It's not going to really match this too much. So I'm thinking maybe Mint Macaron will be a better match to it. That's a retired color, but this is a very light minty bluish green. So if I am going to do any green, which I really haven't decided I'm going to, then I'll do that. But I do know I'm going to use this stamp. And here's the little flower stamp. I want to do that, and then the leaves, because I want to make sure that my green leaf that's going to come up has something green on here to kind of be matched with. And let's go ahead and use our tuxedo black, and I think I want to do that first. So if you have ever tried to order some things through Stampin' Up, and it has been either not available or discontinued, then you are a good candidate for wanting to, let's go like right there, wanting to have your own starter kit and be a demonstrator, because that's the only way you're ever going to have access to some of that stuff when you want it. I mean, it's just the nature of our new system of things not functioning well. Maybe one day they will function well again, but until then, the best way is to just become a demonstrator, and this is the time to do it. When you're part of our team, you get all of my tutorials and my uplines tutorials. You just get a whole lot of benefit for being on our team, and we would love to have you. We're a friendly group. Okay, now let's see. Why am I having a hard time putting this away? The flower, I do definitely want to do the flower with tuxedo black, and we're gonna kind of go off the grid a little bit here with it. I don't want it to be too much. I think those two will be plenty. I didn't want this to be too flowery. For one thing, it takes a while to color that stuff. And than this one. Now I'm going to do a little test here and see what I think about that. I don't think I want that on there. I don't really want a bunch of green. We're going to go with black and do that like right there because the label's going to come in here. And I don't really need a whole lot more of this. Let's do maybe just a little bit like there. And maybe a little bit. I'm going to take that stem off. I don't want that stem on there particularly. There we go. Because I just want it showing around the sides of where I'm going to put that vine. All right, now you are going to see me color this a little bit, but this is not a coloring one. It's not one that's going to be taking any time at all to do. At least I think the rain has stopped out there, but there's like sheets of ice. We have some metal outdoor furniture, but two of the chairs, even though they're metal, have a mesh seat, like fabric-y mesh seat. They were very inexpensive. And those seats looked like glass this morning. They really did. They looked like glass because the ice had frozen right on it in such a way as to be very glassy. I'm going to take some soft sea foam and a mint macaron and wear these and adjust jade. No, not adjust jade. I really want to Call Me Clover, but I'm going to use a shaded spruce. I need something with a bluish green. This is pretty dark, but we're going to go ahead and just barely get a little bit more of a dark green in there, and then I'm going to spread that out. We're just going to get a little bit in there. I don't think I really have any leaves there, so that's good. And then we're going to use this dark mint macaron. Now you see that tip, how weird it is? Huh. I don't know what I've done with it, but it's kind of not doing much. I guess what I need to do is I need to get a new pen. This one looks like it's totally wiped out. We're going to make it work for this project, but as soon as we're done here, this one's going in the trash. It is done. I do use these up, you know, because for one thing, you can put a little alcohol that it's special. You can't just use rubbing alcohol. It's a special alcohol for these alcohol pens. You can put a little bit in there and it will make them go a little longer, but I wouldn't do it, really. I mean, I only do it when it's already dead. Because I did it with my first batch of pens that I was trying to make last longer, and it ruined the nib. So I don't do it anymore. I do use it, though. See, it does this. It ruins that nib particularly. And I might have done it with these pens. They definitely are on the way out. I'm pushing down much harder on it than I normally would. This is not how you color with these pens. You want to be really careful with them because they're a bit pricey. Do I have another one in here? I don't know if I do. Let me get this one. These are new ones. Soft sea foam. This is looking hopeful. Succulent. Soft succulent would work. Let's grab that since I don't happen to see any other. I know I do have some mint macaron. I better have some mint macaron. This is light soft succulent because that's a required color now. So if I didn't get any, I'm going to be really annoyed with myself. I just need that green to kind of blend in a little bit more there. Soft succulent is a really pretty one too. Is that a color we still have? Or is this one gone too? I buy, when the colors are leaving, I buy extras because I like to keep them around a while, especially these alcohol pens. Nice to have a variety of them to color with. Okay, now that's looking pretty good without a whole lot of effort. My goal here was to do a card that actually, or I mean a design that would be really easy and simple to copy and not take a ton of time to do. Let's use this soft succulent since it's the one I happen to have functional on the stems of those little flowers. That's it. And then we are going to push this aside. I'll put those away later because I don't have to deal with that. We're gonna need to color those in. I want petal pink. Let's see if I can find my petal pink. There's a dark petal pink. Very good. I just need petal pink. That's it. That was it. Not doing a ton. I could take the yellow and do a tiny bit out with the stamens if I really, really want to. I do kind of want a bit more, like just pink in there would be really nice. That marker or that blending pen happens to be a tiny bit on the yellowish side to me. It's pretty close. But I'm going to do just a tiny bit. This is Flirty Flamingo, the light one. And I'm going to just do a tiny, tiny bit just to get a bit of pink in there. Okay, I don't know why I have that back there. Where's that petal pink again? Here we go. There's petal pink again. Try to get those colors to mingle a bit. That's it. Now I'm going to take this piece, we're going to cut out everything and assemble, and we're about done. It's a pretty quick project. I'm going to take a yellow marker and let's do like, this is Mango Melody, just that little bullet tip, just to get some of the little stamens out there. Okay, now we're done. So Celebration is with every $50 you buy, you get a free item, and it's a really good time to stock up on some things. So I do not know how the Celebration items are running. Sometimes they run out of stuff pretty early. Hopefully it's not. It's going good. Now let's go ahead and emboss this piece first before I do. Oh, no, I better cut it first. Let's go ahead and cut it. And then I'll emboss it. Where did all my cutting plates go to? Put this one here. All right, so we need this die, first of all. Right there. Did you see how it shifted just now? I think it shifted just a little bit. Maybe it was my imagination, but I thought it shifted a tiny bit. I don't want it to do that. I want it to stay nice and straight. Now, if it does get crooked, oh well, I'll manage, but I would prefer that it didn't do that. Okay, now we can emboss it. Let me grab out my, try to keep all my trash in here. These little holes are gonna pop right out, and I'd like them to stay right there. Okay, so isn't that nice? Now we can emboss it. And then you have a really nice texture to it. This down, we're going to put time-worn type. I don't really need a lot of the actual... I do want it to go this way. I might have to do it. This is because this one's pretty big. It's sort of sticking out at the bottom. So I might have to do that one a bit again. Let's see. Not so sure on it. Let's peek and see. Now, I think I might have used subtle on my other one. Oh, that's fine. You can see it's not quite right there, and I kind of want it to be. So I'm going to just turn it upside down and just get that tiny bit there. Right. Oops. It would help if I was putting it on the actual board. Come on, you can do this. Get through there. I just want to get that last little edge, and I don't want to flatten out what I've already embossed. Okay, so that just got a little bit there. It also needs it a tiny bit there. So let's do that again. This time I'm going to do it this way. Just get that tiny bit at the top. I don't need much. There we go. That's better. Now that we're done with that, I'm going to... Sometimes if it feels like it's too much and you don't want it to be quite as textured as all that, if you want it to be a little tiny bit flatter, just run it through again with something flat, and then it'll flatten it out pretty nicely. I can even do that with my cutting board and the two boards that are on here. If I know what I'm doing. And then you can just kind of run it through. It'll just flatten it out a tiny bit so it's not quite as, textured as it was. Because this one, that timeless textures, that one's really super textured. I used a different texture on this, but this is quite as raised as that. All right, now what we want to do is cut out this vine. And that's it. We're going to assemble after that. We'll be done. And you can cut out with vellum. It's so thin. You can cut out all at the same time. So I've got my little pear pizzazz under there and my vellum. We're going to just cut this all in one go. Then I'm going to stamp my sentiment and cut out that label. And we'll assemble it all. And we will be finished for today. Man, it's like super fast project. Once you've got your paper cut and everything, it goes really quick. I really like this one. Isn't that gorgeous? And my vellum's in there, but look at that vine. It's so pretty. This is a great edge piece. I am going to love using this for a while, because what I've done is I've decided I'm going to take all of my dies and put them together so that I remember to use them, because I forget what I even have. And so I've got all my edge pieces together now. I've got all my small labels together now, all of that. If you're still in the beginning stages of collecting, again, please join our team. If you have taken the starter kit, you've got one really good deal. But with every order you do, you get 20 or 25% off, depending on how long you've been with us, basically, and how much you spent. And that's really the only way that all of us obtain all of the supplies we get. We have a lot of supplies. It's because we've been Stampin' Up! Demonstrators for a while. I wasn't able to do that until I became a demonstrator, because you just can't afford it. God is our refuge and strength. Oh, this is going to be a really nice one. Now, I want that one with petal pink. Today is a day you really want this Bible verse, because you know what? It is just, it's nippy out there. I can't believe how cold it is still. It's barely above freezing. I said it was going to be 38, but I think it's just barely that. Now, I'm not going to put anything with that, just because it's really small font. It's going to, you know, be a pretty small little label on there, but we're going to just leave it simple and small. If you're doing cards and you like to put Bible verses on the inside, this is a good stamp set to have so that you can do that with this. So I took all of my dies, I told you this just now, and put all of them together. So I've got like all my little ones together. I think those aren't quite little enough. Let's see what else I've got here. These are my something fancy. Oh, you might be long enough. I can't tell until I get you out. Let's see. Close, but not close enough. So we're going to go up. We're going to go up to the next size up. I've got them divided. So those are my rectangles that are, oh, I've got one more. Oh, here we go. This one will work. I've got my ornate dies in here. I've got my sentimental park dies in here because those are all kind of a medium, small to medium size. This one is the right length. Look at that. We're going to use that. And that's a nice width for it too. I think that will be perfect. So we'll just do that one. Okay, that there, this here. As you can see, the magnet sort of got a mind of its own. So I'll move the paper to where the magnet's gonna hold it the right way. And then I might take a little piece of petal pink and let's do a slightly bigger die, and we can use our petal pink underneath of it. I think that would be really pretty. I might want this one. I'm not sure if I want anything that big. That seems a bit large. No, I don't know. That one will work. Let's do it. Let's do this one. This is one of our ornate dies from several years ago now, really. Let's see how it looks. It might be a nice touch, but it might be too much too. With the vine and everything, it might just be a bit much. We'll see. Okay. So you have until February 29. I'm not going to stop reminding you until somebody actually decides to join our group. If you want to have me stop, you can just go ahead and sign up. February 29, the deal is done, and it won't be as good a deal after that. So you definitely want to do it before February 29 and never wait till the last minute. If you wait till the last minute, you will be sorry, because there always are a bunch of people at the last minute who try to sign up and they have trouble because they waited until the last few hours, you know, on the 29th. So sign up by the 28th, please. Just do yourself a favor. You don't have to do anything more with it. If you don't like it, don't want to do it, you've changed your mind, just don't buy anything else, and that's it. It's done. There's no obligation. You don't get fined. You don't get in trouble. None of us are going to feel bad about it. It's just, you tried it, you didn't like it. It's fine. All right. Now that is done, and we will see if we really like that or not. Actually, that looks pretty good. Let's see how it's going to look on the card. Maybe. I still haven't decided on that one. All right. Now, I put away that cutting thing, but I actually still need it because I need the cover. And we have one piece of the cover, and I need 2 pieces. So this is 6.5. So I did it again, 6.5 by 4.5. No, 4 3/4. So let me cut that again, another one. So we want one for the back too. So it needs to be 4 3/4. Let me turn my board up to the right side. 4 3/4 by, did I say 6.5? I think so, 6.5. Yep, 6.5. All right, so we got those 2 cut, and now we're going to take the stitchery, and we're going to cut those, and then we'll be ready to assemble this little journal. It's so cute. I am very excited to get this finished. Let's do one at a time. It won't do it as well if I don't do it that way. Now, I want to make sure that this is going to be centered on here. Okay, so let's center it on. And then I'll know where my little holes are going to go. Right there. Okay, and then I'm going to try to gently, carefully pull this out. I'm going to try to see again, where I want that hole, those holes. Make sure that's in the right spot. It's pretty close. It's not quite right. Let's move it down a tiny bit. That's pretty close. I moved it down too much. Let's put it up a tiny bit. There, that's perfect. Okay, so that's where we want that to be cut. That's one, and then we'll do the other one. Ding. And now this one, we'll do this way. Just trying to get it lined up nicely. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want it to be as close to perfect as you can get without, you know, killing yourself on it. I can see it's not straight. Was this one not straight? Because it's possible it isn't straight on this one as well. So just double checking there. Yeah, it's not. Move that over a tiny bit. And it could probably move up just a tiny bit. There we go. All right, that looks pretty good. All right. Now I did, I think, did I do something foolish? Remember, you have the one on the bottom is going to be the other side. So I think I should have flipped it, but I didn't, and because it's not going to be exactly the right, you know, top to bottom. If I had done it exactly in the center, it wouldn't matter. I know I didn't do that, so it might be off a tiny bit, but that's okay. We're going to live with it. All right, so we've got, all we need to do first of all is assemble the front. So we're going to glue this on here. Let me make sure which side you like best. Let's see if they go together nice. They do. Pretty good. So I'm going to let this one be the front, I think. It looks a little bit, this has just a tiny bit of a fold there. Yeah, I think so. And I'm going to raise this up a bit. So we're going to just glue this on. Make sure it's nice and straight. This is where you need this good glue. When you've embossed something, you definitely need it to be... Oh, I forgot to score it. Gotta score it. I can't score that now because I already glued it, but I can score this one. So you want to be able... You can see the edge of your die. Can you see that? Right here, you can see the edge of the die. That's right where you want to score it. But you want this to be able to fold. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And even though I'm not getting the other one scored, it'll be fine. Okay, so let's get the glue on. I want to make sure it's glued nice and good through all of these little openings. All the way to the edge. And then line this up with those holes. And it should be pretty well squared on there. If it's not perfect, oh well. Make sure your holes are lined up, and it should be pretty good. Now make sure that dries really well before you try folding it. Of course, you don't want to fold 2 layers together until that's glued really well, or it'll just start to buckle. And then all the papers that I did, I've already punched out. Those are going to go in the middle here, loose, right there, like that. And then this is going to all get stitched together quite nicely. But let's finish the front before I do all of that. Okay, so we've got this label. We've got our green vine and the vellum on top. I just kind of wanted that as an extra little layer. So I want it to be layered together, but I want you to be able to see it's vellum. So I'm not doing one, it's not going to be perfectly on, you know, it's just kind of going to be laying on there sort of haphazardly. All right, so first of all, we're going to glue the vellum, and then I'm going to put dimensionals on it. And if I had just done the vellum without this other piece on it, it would have been much harder to do dimensionals. I don't want you to be right on top. I kind of want it to be off a little bit. So... It wants to go like right on top because that's just the way it is, but I want it to be off a little bit, so it's not quite matched perfectly. Okay, that's pretty good. And now in doing so, I have more space to put these mini dimensionals so I can stick this to the card without so much trouble. Otherwise, it's just a lot of work trying to cut all these little tiny pieces of mini dimensionals and getting it all to stick. I've actually got some nice edges to my regular dimensional package here. Let's use it. Okay, so I can do that there and that there. And that there. And then by sticking it both to the vellum and the cardstock, you're not going to see it, but it's going to also help to keep those two pieces together. Now, if you're using white clear vellum, you might see it, so don't, you'll want to be more careful if you're using white. Our Stampin' Up! White vellum. This vellum will be fine. There are all kinds of things online. Have you been checking it out? Stampin' Up! Has just got tons of new things. It's hard for me to keep track of. There are Kits galore. There's a rock. Do you know the rock one, the You Rock stamp set that's in the new mini catalog? Well, they have a kit that coordinates with it, which is pretty cool looking. If you like kits, because kits are something that you don't need to have a ton of money to get started with, just to see if you like to stamp. The kits probably don't even have stamps. Some of them do, but some of them don't. They're just things that like this. It's already pre-cut and pre-designed, and then you just put it all together. So it's nice for kids especially, really fun. And what else do they have? They've got Panda Friends. That looked like a really good kids one. Okay, so we got our little vine right there. Isn't that pretty? And then I think what I'll do is glue the tag to this piece right there. And then we'll use the dimensionals to put that together. All right, before I do that, I am going to want to put the ribbon through because that's going to be a little bit tricky. So what we're going to do is take the front and back. Okay. And put all of this together so that we can hopefully see the holes through it. I'm going to get this one started first. You caught on my vine. Okay, now we'll get this one on here and see if we can get this all together easily. That shouldn't be too hard. Let's try it again with the whole thing. The twine is really easy to do, but I wanted to do this ribbon. Okay, so I'm just going in and out. Nothing fancy. I've got extra long ribbon going here just to make sure that I can do this without any trouble. In case you're wondering, why is she using such a long piece? Well, it's because go like this, and now because that's the way it is, I am going to go down here. I might have to use my little poker to poke that down. Let me grab, oh, I've got a tweezers right here. Let's poke that through. Just check and make sure that it's looking good. And then we're gonna do, and it can be a little loose, doesn't have to be, I kind of snugged it up there, but you don't really need it to be snugged up because it is gonna, it's got to fold. Come on. There's also Painted Wishes was another kit in the on the Stampin' Up website that looked really cute. I'm gonna, that's getting a little frayed. Let's snip it so I can get it through there easier. That was very loud. Okay. It is so nice to have our house warm. Last week I was complaining about our heater situation because our heater was acting up, but the guy is ordering us a new motor just to be on the safe side. I said, yes, I want the new motor because I was thinking, you know, it sounds like it's going, and I don't like this not having heat at critical stages of temperature. So although right now it doesn't feel like you need it at all, I know it will be right at the worst time. I'm going to poke that through just because I want it to match. I wouldn't have to do that, but I want it to match. You're not working right. Get yourselves in there. Okay. There we go. Make sure it's not twisted too much. This is how it looks on the bottom, so, you know, it looks a little bit funky, I suppose. I don't know that I think it looks funky, but somebody might think it looks a little funky. Turn, turn. We're getting there. Not much more to go. That. And then I'm going to go ahead and go up here like this and down through again, because I just want to make sure that's fastened really well. And then we're going to bring the other side in and we're going to tie that up. Okay, like this. So we're going to take this. I'm actually going to use my tweezers. We're not going to do it every hole in the same way. We're going to go there like this. If I can get you in there. This is one of those really skinny 1/4 inch ribbons. You would not want to use a fatter one. And on my other project, of course, I used twine, and I wanted to put twine under the label. Then after I did that, I didn't really like it anyway. So you can do it however you want to. Like that. And let's go. Better go here on this one, because I want my bow to be down kind of not too high near the top, but I want it to be at the top for sure. There we go. Okay, perfect. And then you've got your nice little bow you can tie. I've got lots of extra here. That'll be nice. I can use those on another card. I'm so glad to get this done because I'd already made the one, and I feel like I can't send it until I have 2 of them done, because I have two kiddos I want it to go to. And then I need to send one to our grandson too, but I'll have to do a more manly version. The You Rock one probably be cool with that. Or, I don't know, I'll have to think about it. I'm not sure how I'll do that. Oops, these scissors are kind of giving up the ghost. All right, there, and then this is going to go right here, and this one is going to be done. Isn't that cute? Oh, I love it. It is so nice. It doesn't really need any ribbon under there. This is going to be just perfect. If you want to have something come new every month, you can always do a paper pumpkin. Paper pumpkin is a monthly subscription thing. I think you buy 3 months or 6 months or a year, I imagine, if you wanted to. But you can try it for 3 months if you're not sure. If you're going to really want that every month. They have a bunch of those that are cute too. All right, so right there. Isn't that gorgeous? And then where we scored it, it should fold pretty easy. Now it's dry. My label's going to interfere with it a little, but not too bad. And then you've got your pages all cut, ready to go, to be written on, colored on, you know, just for fun, however the gift getter, however they want to do it. They can do whatever they want with it. I just thought it would be a nice thing if I was a parent. I would have really liked having my grandmother send me something nice that I could draw in and be encouraged to maybe write the ways that you see God working in your life, the prayers you want answered, the things you want, you know, all the things that kids do and that we adults do too. For us, though, it's probably more about how can I feel better? Can you heal me with some illness that I've got? All right, I actually don't look too bad because it's cold enough that I'm staying fairly comfortable in here, and that's nice. I really like this. This is so fun. I want one for myself. So I hope you enjoyed today's project and that it gave you an idea of what to do, how easy it is to use that Notes of Nature. I am going to grab the paper really quick. That's Nature Sweetness paper. Now you are going to be seeing a whole bunch of projects over the next couple of months with this. I know I've done at least 2 in my newsletters that are coming up, and it has all of this gold. Oh man, gold over, like scripted gold and just gold. And I think I showed this last week too. So that goes with this suite. If you get, oh, I forgot. I'm wrong. This goes with the vanilla plant one, the not Notes of Nature. It goes with Lovely and Sweet. That's what this paper goes with. It's Lovely and Sweet. I kind of I've grouped it all together in my mind because I've been using all of it together, the Notes of Nature and the Lovely and Sweet. So that's why I'm confused. So never mind about the paper. As you can see, you can make your own lovely background paper with the Notes of Nature. It's really pretty. Have a wonderful day. Stay warm and dry. Don't forget to get all of your free items. There's the flight, what is it? Aryan flight, in flight, or flight and airy? I don't remember, but there's some really pretty designer series paper with these bluebirds on it that are so cute, that are free with every $50 purchase. So celebration is on. You can join our team. That is all good till the end of February 29. The kits, I think, oh, one other thing I wanted to tell you, that brushed gold envelopes and cards, that is on low inventory. And it's really pretty. So you will want to get that. That is in the mini catalog. And if it's in low inventory, it won't be there long. And mini catalog things, usually when they sell out, they are gone. They don't usually order it again. So get your things and have a wonderful week. I will see you next week. Bye.